right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever it is that you are. Welcome once more to another video podcast of Political News Time, streaming from you directly via the PNTLIVE network. And remember, if you want to check out archives of this show and many other interesting podcasts generated by yours truly, all you have to do is pop on over to pntlive.net. I'm your hostess, Alex Mayers. Tonight's discussion is actually going to be fairly interesting because last night I checked my email and lo and behold, I received an email directly from the Church of Satan. I didn't even know I was on their mailing list. Yeah, so I was actually very pleased to receive their announcement, and I did promptly let them know that I would be discussing their announcement on my show this evening. I don't know if anyone received my response, but I feel like their stance and their announcement is actually very newsworthy because you got to keep in mind, when it comes to religion, religion is directly interlaced with politics. All you got to do is look at our currency here in America. What does it say on our currency? In God we trust. All right. And what is a part of the theology when it comes to Christianity? Satan. So from my perspective, anything the Church of Satan has to say is very relevant to politics. But this particular announcement that they put out, from my perspective, is specifically newsworthy because it has to do with the issue of abortion. I actually got into it with whoever runs the Church of Satan's Twitter account. It was quite a while ago, I'd say over a year ago now, at one point, because I was under the assumption that the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple were one and the same. All right. And because of that, I had some words for the Church of Satan, but really it was unjust what I had to say because the Satanic Temple and the Church of Satan are two completely separate entities. I think at one point in time, the founder of the Satanic Temple was under the tutelage of someone linked to the Church of Satan, but I will have to go back to double check that statement because it's all a little hazy. But then again, a lot of things that have to do with religion are hazy. You don't know the truth until you're dead. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read this press release or statement, or whatever you want to call it, this email that was sent to me from the Church of Satan, because I think it's important that people know the truth when it comes to their stance on abortion. And I think actually people need to know the truth of their stance on a plethora of political issues. But anyways, let me go ahead and read this. It's titled, "Is Abortion a Satanic Sacrament?" A political activist group, best known for punking journalists and politicians via high-profile publicity stunts, has today announced that abortion is a sacrament of Satanism, and thus protected by the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. This claim is both false and dangerous. Anyone familiar with the lunatic rantings of daytime talk show hosts during the Satanic Panic or the more recent QAnon conspiracy theories knows that Christians often accuse Satanists of facilitating abortions as a form of child sacrifice. It's ludicrous that anyone would think that associating abortion with Satanism would in any way be beneficial towards Satanists or those supporting the right to have an abortion. The Satanic Temple, who last year unironically registered as a Christian church, in order to obtain tax exemption does not represent the religion of Satanism on any level. This is not the first time their actions have, perhaps intentionally, tried to make Satanism appear as, quote, foolish and irrational, as we secularists view most other religions to be, end quote. This latest stunt goes beyond simple headline chasing, giving ammo to religionists who would push to enact laws restricting individual freedoms, as well as potentially putting the safety and lives of some people publicly identifying as Satanists at risk, as anti-abortion activists have been known to use violence to push their agendas in the past. To counter this misinformation, we have updated our FAQ to specifically address this claim as follows. Question: is abortion a sacrament in Satanism? Answer: it is not. It is an optional medical procedure which should be within the rights of the pregnant woman to choose if she so desires. All right, so they're pro-choice, since being pregnant or not should be her decision. Limits on the gestational age of the fetus that may be aborted are up for discussion as part of a social contract, which should be based on scientific data, medical necessity, and personal value systems. How one views abortion is a matter for our members to decide individually, based on personal standards, but they may not enforce their values upon others, who are equally free to make their own decisions on this issue. The very word sacrament is primarily a Christian term, meaning some sort of rite, which confers a state of divine grace or some aspect of sacredness. At its most watered-down form, it can mean a sign, token, or symbol, or even an oath or solemn pledge. But to be clear, Satanism does not embrace rites, oaths, pledges, signs, or tokens, which are termed sacraments. We are an explicitly carnal religion, and we embrace the profane. Therefore, even the idea of something being sacred, such as the concept of holiness, which means veneration of an object or a procedure or rite because of its association with some sort of deity or divinity, is not in use as part of our philosophical framework. Those are aspects of spiritual thinking and symbolism, and thus not elements of Satanism. Our skeptical, pragmatic, materialist, individualist, atheist religion. All right, so there it is. That is what the Church of Satan wants the world to be aware of. That's what they wanted to clarify. They are not affiliated with the Satanic Temple. All right. And, I think that somehow there does need to be more mainstream differentiation between the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple, because at least at one point in time, there was an attorney of a rather nefarious law firm known as Randazza Legal Group who was representing the Satanic Temple, and I think he was only doing so for publicity. And that seems to be around the time that a lot of there was a lot of just a lot of confusion between the two entities. So so I guess the Church of Satan, they for the most part seem like they are a pro-choice organization, something for people to know about. And from my perspective, their stance sounds very logical. It doesn't sound scary to me. Do I encourage anyone to join the Church of Satan? No. Do I encourage anyone to be a Christian? No. I don't encourage anyone to do anything nowadays, except for just find your happiness, live your life, treat others the way that you would like to be treated, and try your best to achieve your fullest potential.